Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you once again for taking time out of your day to check the video out. I really appreciate it. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss today. So before we dive into these topics, do me a big favor. If you do end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. It really helps the videos out more than you know. And if you are new here to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. The first topic we're discussing talks about Forspoken. Apparently, the development team that is working on this game, they're taking time to listen to fan feedback and make some adjustments and some refinements based on that fan feedback, which I think is great news. So this is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, where they say the developers behind PS5 console exclusive Forspoken say that they're taking fan feedback on board following the game's delay. Speaking to Game Informer, creative producer Ryo Matsuno said that one of the things Square Enix's Luminous Productions team is addressing is the frequency of chatter between protagonist Frey and her companion Cuff, which people felt was a bit overwhelming based on what has been shown of the game thus far. Forspoken was originally scheduled for release in May, but ended up being pushed to October. That's probably a good thing though. The game has a promising premise, but many have pointed out that despite numerous high-profile devs being attached to Forspoken, it looks a bit rough. Matsuno has reassured Game Informer that the developers are looking into a lot of feedback and plan to make adjustments accordingly so that it's kind of the optimal experience. There's been some commentary about the frequency of banter between Frey and Cuff when you're out in the world. Matsuno said, those kinds of things we are looking at in terms of fine-tuning and frequency, making sure that it's not to the point where it feels overwhelming, but we want to make sure it's timed nicely, where it doesn't feel like there's too much silence when you're playing out in the vast world. And so I wanted to let you guys know about this because I think that this is good news for sure. This is actually pinpointing one of my biggest complaints with what we've seen and heard of Forspoken so far, which is, yeah, the premise is cool, and I think a lot about this game looks really good, but when it comes to the dialogue and the back and forth banter, it did seem a bit excessive and certainly over the top or overwhelming, as they put it. So I'm glad that they're taking the extra time to really kind of hone in and listen to what the fans are saying and what people, who are interested in this game are saying. But we're moving on to the next topic, which talks about PlayStation VR 2. I have a headline here from Push Square that says game developers are more excited for PlayStation VR 2 than any other headset. And they say the promotional rollout for PSVR 2 has been a bit bizarre. We've seen the headset and controllers now, but we know very little about its software lineup, and we're still waiting to go eyes on with the device. Sony has been shipping a lot of development kits, however, and the word on the street is that game makers are extremely enthusiastic about it. Prolific virtual reality enthusiast Bradley Lynch says that speaking to VR developers, the current consensus is they are more excited to make their games for PSVR 2 than any other upcoming head-mounted display. He added that's starting to reflect in all the company announcements as well earlier this week. nDreams confirmed that it is developing new titles for the headset, with this being the next major virtual reality headset in the pipeline. We suppose it stands to reason that developers will be enthusiastic about it. Hopefully this fervor is reflected with a strong slate of titles, because while the technology Sony's assembled sounds fantastic, it's the games that are ultimately going to convince people to go out there and buy this headset. And so I wanted to convey this to you guys because it does sound very promising. It sounds like developers who are getting some hands-on time with PSVR 2 and those who are in the process of making games for this headset, they seem very excited about it. They do genuinely seem like, they're enthusiastic about shipping games on this headset and doing some great things with it. And so, yeah, it's anybody's guess when Sony is going to come out here and reveal the lineup of games that are being made for the headset. But I certainly have high hopes, and, it's always reassuring to hear this type of stuff coming from people who are, kind of out there talking to developers and getting a sense of, hey, what's the general consensus within the development community of this new VR headset? And so it sounds really promising. Next up, we are talking about Metal Gear Solid briefly, because there was a 35th anniversary website that popped up, and it certainly got a lot of people talking, and it was something that I noticed, and I didn't necessarily get excited about, but I was paying attention to it. But it turns out that the website was not actually legitimate. It was not coming from Konami. So this is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle again, where they say a Metal Gear 35th anniversary site appeared yesterday, sparking rumors Konami may be about to make an announcement later this year. Unfortunately, any announcement won't be forthcoming for a while. A message has now appeared on the site confirming it was meant to be an April Fool's Day joke, while Konami has said they aren't entirely sure what to do with the site right now. When the Metal Gear 35th anniversary website first appeared, it simply contained an exclamation mark logo with 35th as the dot. The site appeared to be registered to Konami and later added details of a supposed Metal Gear 35th anniversary NFT auction. However, Konami confirmed to Tech Radar that this site is not Konami's site, and we are currently considering how to deal with this site. And it seems that whoever made this website is maybe feeling a little bit nervous that maybe Konami is going to take some type of legal action, because this is the message that they posted out. They say this website was made as an April Fool's joke to parody Konami and the Castlevania 35th anniversary NFT auction, and is not affiliated with Konami, OpenSea, or the Metal Gear series. Nothing on the website should be taken seriously, and there are no actual NFTs for sale. There are a couple of hidden Easter eggs, however. Can you find them? Don't try looking at the source code or I'll know. Konami, please don't sue me. Instead, please use the resources you'd put towards hiring lawyers to buy the historical footage licenses needed to put MGS2 and MGS3 back on digital storefronts. So there you go. You know, it was not a real website, and I don't necessarily blame anybody for thinking that, you know, maybe it could be real, because, you know, it would be nice to see Konami do something significant for the Metal Gear series, you know, in the 35th anniversary. But at this point in time, it seems like there are really no plans. So there you go. Had to give you guys an update on that. Next up, we are talking about PlayStation confirming layoffs amid a global transformation. This is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle again, where they say Sony Interactive Entertainment has confirmed up to 90 layoffs in its PlayStation division in the United States. First reported by Axios, the company said that the layoffs went into effect this week and are part of its global transformation. The reduced headcount mainly impacts PlayStation's sales and marketing teams. Sony has let go of its merchandiser team, which included PlayStation representatives who were tasked with going to retail stores and educating workers about products and services. Retail marketing jobs, which would involve hyping up upcoming video game releases, have also been cut. As Axios points out, this signals a shift in Sony's strategy as the company moved towards a direct-to-consumer approach. The replacement of traditional brick-and-mortar stores with online storefronts has a role to play in this change of direction, and so does the overall increase in digital purchases, which now account for most of Sony's sales. So yeah, I saw a lot of people kind of looking at this and wondering what's going on. Why did Sony do this? Is there a reason for it? Well, first off, I hope that the 90 individuals laid off are able to bounce back relatively quickly and get back on their feet. And it's unfortunate, but as you can see here, it's pretty obvious why Sony decided to do this. They are marching slowly but surely, just like every other video game publisher, towards a digitally dominant future. You could argue that right now, digital is already dominant, and the cutting out of the middleman, it's already happening. It's been happening for some time, and it's only going to continue. And I know that there are a lot of people who don't like to hear that, because we don't want an, digital only future, but make no mistake, it is something that is slowly but surely on its way here, for better or for worse. So there you go. We are moving on to the next topic though, which talks about Sony reiterating once again that they are going to make more acquisitions, and they are already in the process of doing so. Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan has reiterated yet again that he's not done with PlayStation acquisitions just yet, making a rare appearance on the latest episode of the official PlayStation podcast. Ryan told host Sid Schumann that Sony is aggressively expanding its development capabilities both through acquisitions as well as organic growth. He said that PlayStation studios are now in a virtuous cycle where success begets success. And so it shouldn't necessarily come as a surprise to anybody that this is what Jim Ryan is saying. He's pretty much just reiterating what he said before and what Sony has continued to say, and that is that, yeah, they're not done making acquisitions. This is a time of consolidation, and they are always on the hunt. What I do find a little bit interesting is the context in which he's mentioning it. Again, it's a rare appearance on the PlayStation podcast, but the focus was seemingly on the PlayStation Plus rebranding. And so this did feel like it was kind of, I don't know, random, I guess you could say. Like I didn't expect to hear Jim Ryan talk about acquisitions of any kind. But then again, they did just acquire Haven Studio, and he does reference Bungie, and some people were thinking that this was recorded maybe a while ago, and that's why. And so that would also make sense. But, nonetheless, we're all, I think, just kind of patiently waiting to see, okay, who is Sony going to pick up next? But the final topic I have for you is definitely a significant one here, and we're going to have to take it with a grain of salt, but I think it's good timing to be hearing about this, because one of the biggest complaints that people have had with the PlayStation Plus rebranding, the Essential, Extra, and Premium tier, specifically the Premium tier, if you want to play PS3 games, you're going to have to do it through cloud streaming, and a lot of people are still not happy about that. Well, we have a report here, reading from VGC, it says Sony Interactive Entertainment could be working to bring PlayStation 3 games to PlayStation 5 without the requirement to stream them over the internet. That's according to VentureBeat journalist Jeff Grubb, whose sources have reportedly indicated that behind the scenes, Sony could be working on an emulation solution for PS3 games on PS5. Earlier this week, Sony announced that it would be bringing classic games to its latest console via its new PlayStation Plus Premium subscription. However, while the majority of those games will be available to download and play on PS5 via emulation, Sony confirmed that PS3 games would only be playable via cloud streaming. According to Jeff Grubb, however, the service could eventually receive PS3 emulation similar to other retro systems it's set to support. Since talking about this all week, I've looked, I've asked, it sounds like Sony might be working on emulation for PS3 on PS5. He said it may take some time. I wish they would come out and tell us that they care about this stuff, because that is what is missing from the PS Plus announcement. To me, it seemed like they didn't care about any of it. They just slapped it together, put a new name on it, and sold it. And so this is what Jeff Grubb is saying. He's essentially letting us know that based off of the sources he has spoken to, it seems that Sony is, in fact, pursuing this. They are looking to make it so that you can emulate PS3 games on the PS5, but it's going to take them some time. And I think that this is pretty important to go over if it is true, because it does make sense. We've seen some individuals come out since the announcement of the PlayStation Plus rebrand, individuals who would know, coming out and saying that emulation like this is certainly possible. Sony could do this. But it's just a matter of, do they want to invest the time, money, and resources necessary to make it happen? And a lot of people are assuming right now that the answer to that question is no, because Sony hasn't said anything about it. But, Jeff Grubb's saying that behind the scenes, apparently they are working on it. And something else that people have pointed out is that, it's unlikely that Sony is going to be able to continue to rely on these PS3 server blades forever. They're going to have to find, in the long run, another solution. So yeah, I think that all signs point to Sony doing something here. I don't want to get ahead of myself and assume that we're going to hear about it anytime soon, or that it will be as successful of an endeavor as we're hoping it will be, but this makes sense to me. And Jeff Grubb has proven to be a pretty reliable source in the past for quite a few different things. And so yeah, at this point, you guys can leave all your thoughts down below on everything we discussed, but that's going to do it for the video. Again, I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Leave it a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.